What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sports Drip Live. Alongside my brother Enrique Contreras, my name's Jose Contreras. We are back for another exciting episode. Ricky,
Yep.
man, what's going on? Long time no see.
Long time no see, man. Glad to be here. Glad to be back, and glad to talk about these fights, man. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yes, pretty exciting stuff, guys. We have a lot to discuss today. We're talking UFC. We're going to preview UFC 278 coming up. We're going to talk about this past fight night with Marlon Vera versus Dominic Cruz. We'll get into some wrestling as we always do, and we'll even talk some boxing today as we're going to go with. We're going to talk about Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk. And Ricky, let's get right into it, man. Like I said, we're going into MMA first, and let's get into some UFC. As last week or last Saturday night, Marlon Vera, Ricky knocked out Dominic Cruz with a brutal head kick. Brutal. Marlon Vera hit home at UFC Fight Night in San Diego as he uncorked a nasty head kick that sent Dominic Cruz crashing onto the canvas on Saturday night at the main event.
Instantly breaking his nose, too.
Instantly. Cruz and Vera fought true to expectations. Cruz perplexed his opponent with boxing combinations, kicks to all targets, takedowns, feints, and movement. And Vera, a notorious slow starter, found a crucial moment of success in round number one with a left hook that seated Cruz, and then continuing to outpoint his opponent while avoiding damage. Ricky Vera again dropped Cruz in round number three. It was a relatively competitive round, but Vera's ability to make his reads and land regularly brought with it a notion that the end may be near. And that's what happened in round number four as Vera backed up Cruz with a combination of punches and rattled off a head kick that found the mark and face planted Cruz face planted after that. As you said, instantly broke his nose.
Yeah.
Crazy knockout, but very entertaining, to say the least. What did you see in this fight?
I mean, look, Dominic Cruz, he looked good up until that head kick, man. For like the first three rounds, we saw the Dominic Cruz of old, with that awkward style. He moves in and out, side to side, throws leg kicks to strikes, the quickness. At what is it, 37 years old, 38 years old that he is now? Still shows that he did have the speed and quickness advantage, but there was a clear power advantage to Marlon Vera in this fight, man. Because Dominic Cruz was landing, pretty flush with his strikes, and it didn't seem to phase Marlon Vera at all. But when Vera landed, man, he dropped Cruz at least 3 or 4 times before he caught him with that head kick. So, tough loss for Cruz, man. He's a veteran in the game, former world champion. He's been in this game for a very long time. We've seen him since the WEC days. He's one of the originals from that organization. And but Marlon Vera's on the up and up. He definitely stated his case with this fight, with this knockout, knocking out a former world champion, and he's coming for that title, man. He really is.
Really is definitely coming for that title. He made his case. Dominic Cruz, the former champ, Ricky. We know what the guy can do. Yes, probably past his prime, now.
Yeah,
but I mean, he put up a fight. He put up a good fight in this card. Yeah, he looked really good.
He did.
So then, what happens here? Does he continue to move on? Maybe try to, come back, and regain himself, or do you think this is the end of Dominic Cruz?
I mean, only time will tell, man. If he wants to continue to fight, he certainly will get a fight. Because like we said, he's veteran in the game. He's been in here for a long time, but he also has an analyst job on the side, man, that he could fall back on when he's done with his career. So he has that, and he's pretty good at commentary. So it'll be up to him, man. We'll see what he decides to do. If he wants to continue fighting, he could, but he has a nice little second career, waiting for him after he's all said and done.
No, absolutely, 100%. Marlon Vera, what happens next, Ricky? Do you think this guy gets a title shot right away, or does he has to go through one more obstacle before he gets there?
You know what? I say he should, but I'm not at 100% if he will. I think because here's the thing, man. The bantamweight division right now at the top is starting to heat up, man. I mean, we got Jose Aldo fighting this weekend. We got Sean O'Malley and Petr Yan fighting, later on this year, and then with Marlon Vera stating his case, with this knockout that he just did, I would favor him actually getting the next title shot, but we got to see what Jose Aldo does this weekend.
Yeah,
what he does, and then we'll see, man, because yeah, he's definitely there, bro. So we'll see, man. It's very interesting.
Yep. Vera improved Ricky 27-1 and becomes the first bantamweight with 10 finishes in UFC history. He extended his winning streak to 4 following wins over Rob Font, Frankie Edgar, Davey Grant, and now Dominic Cruz. Speaking of Cruz dropped 24-4 professionally. Still not a bad record, man.
No.
Again, Dominic Cruz, we know what kind of fighter he is. And I would never count him out, but what a head kick, man.
That was nasty, man. I mean, I remember during the fight, before that, I think it was maybe in the second or third round, somebody commented on Twitter. I think it was a coach, saying that Dominic Cruz tends to, when he throws his punches, tends to lean to his right.
Yeah.
That's a tendency that he's had, and that he said that the head kick for Vera is there if he wants it. Sure enough, he saw the same thing that everybody was seeing, and he landed it perfectly. Broke his nose instantly, put him out.
Yeah,
Marlon Vera is the real deal, man. I've been singing this guy's praises for a while now. I'm like, man, this dude is up and coming. He's really going for this title.
Yep,
and he's somebody to watch. So, and he's a threat for sure.
Yep, he came out and said after the fight, Ricky, in the post-fight interview, he said, "Now it's my time. I've been calling it, but next week comes out, and I got to go back to the gym and keep working because those performances don't just happen like that. If you're going halfway," he says, "I'm all in." Can you see him, Ricky, maybe winning the title one day? Do you think he has what it takes?
Absolutely. I do believe he does. I believe he has it, and I think he will do it. I also forgot to mention that Aljamain Sterling and TJ Dillashaw is also coming up.
Yep.
So yeah, this division is heating up for sure, man. So I could definitely see Marlon Vera getting the title shot eventually, and I could see him winning it.
Yeah, absolutely. Aljamain Sterling, who everybody thought was wasn't deserving to be champion, but he came out his last fight against Petr Yan and proved why he is the defending champ.
Yeah.
So yeah, match if he comes out against Dillashaw, a match between him and Vera would be really good, Ricky. I definitely agree to that. You guys listen to the Sports Drip Live podcast alongside my brother from the same mother, Enrique Contreras. My name's Jose Contreras, guys. We are talking UFC. Another fight on that same exact card, Ricky, was the co-main event as we had Nate Landwehr take on David Onama at UFC San Diego. And they put on a blockbuster performance, man.
Fight of the night.
Yes, man. Yep. After 3 rounds of the featherweight battle, one judge had it 28-28, while the other 2 judges scored the fight 29-27 in favor of Landwehr. Taking majority decision event, Landwehr secured the second victory in a row and improved to 16-4. As for Onama, he dropped 10-2, which snapped his 2-game winning streak. Ricky, take us into this fight, man, because it was amazing.
Man, I'll tell you what, man. David Onama actually, he had a really good first round. It looked like he was about to finish Nate Landwehr a couple times. He dropped him. Yep. I think there was one shot where he landed where Nate actually went out. Like it looked like the referee was really close to stopping that fight. He went out, and like as soon as Onama hit him again, it's like he woke him up and he got up and defended. Yep. And this fight went on. But then after that, man, David Onama, I think he gassed himself out, man. By the time the like probably mid to the late second round, man, he had nothing left. This dude was literally right there. Nate took advantage of that and came back, landing strikes, getting some takedowns, and it looked like he tried to finish him many times, but it was just too slippery.
Yep.
Both guys were sweating, and by the time the third round came, both guys were exhausted.
Literally
exhausted. Like just even Onama caught his second win and was actually landing some shots because Nate got a little cocky there. He was showboating, say, pretty much he had it in the bag, but Onama still had something left, but it wasn't enough. And this fight, it was just insane. The crowd was in it.
Yep.
The announcers were going nuts. Man, I was like, holy shit. I was going nuts. I'm like, who's gonna win? Who has more heart? Who has more heart in this fight?
Yeah, that's what it came down to.
That's pretty much what it came down to. Both guys were exhausted. So this stole the night, man, for sure.
No, 100%. Even Ricky going down to the last second, you see Onama knocking Landwehr on his ass and and it looked like he could have had he had at least 10 more seconds or less. That fight, he would have won that fight.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because Nate Landwehr almost didn't have nothing left by that point either. And
no.
But wow, yeah, what a fight, man! This was insane. One of the ones we'll remember for sure.
That definitely. Even looks like at the end the referee got hit with a punch.
Oh yeah. I forgot to mention that. Yes. I think it was my Beltran, referee Beltran.
Yeah.
He got hit. He got hit and he took it. He took it like a G. He didn't go down.
For those who haven't seen it, YouTube the Landwehr versus Onama fight and look at the last like 5 seconds of the fight. It's crazy. Landwehr pretty much gets rocked, falls to the ground, but then he gets back up, and as he recovers, the time ends, and Onama's still swinging, but so Landwehr starts swinging, he hits the referee. Man!
Luckily, he didn't go out, man, because I would have. Holy shit!
Yeah, I mean, he was tired. He probably didn't have that much force into it, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, it was insane all the way up until the end. Even after the horn sounded, it was
exactly.
It was just crazy.
As for Nate Landwehr, Ricky, what's next for him, man? This was a big win against Onama. Like, where does he move up this from here?
Man, yeah, it's kind of hard to say right now, man, because this is the featherweight division.
Yep.
And I mean, we're talking about Max Holloway. I mean, we're talking about the top dogs up in the featherweight division. So he'll need a couple more fights, and let's see what he does, man. Maybe somebody in the top 15, and then we'll see from there.
Yeah, and what about David Onama? I mean, he fought his ass off, man. This was a good fight. Do you think he stays relatively? You know, he doesn't fall that low. You don't think, right?
No. He's not even ranked. So give him a couple more fights against, probably some, give him some more tune-up fights and just work him up slowly. And, all he has to do is just go back to the drawing board, probably work on his conditioning. He did get a little too excited in there to try to finish the fight. And, you can see the inexperience there. So as long as he works on that, he'll be good. So we'll see what happens there with him.
Yeah, absolutely, Ricky. UFC Fight Night from San Diego was this past Saturday. Anything else on that card, Ricky, that you wanted to mention? Any notable mentions from that card?
Who we saw? Who did I see in that crowd, man? I saw Paddy the Fatty Pimblett in the crowd. Who mentioned?
He ate the baddie. He wasn't the baddie. He was the fatty that day.
He was the fatty. Apparently, he said he was up 200 pounds now.
Jeez.
Which is fucking crazy, man. I mean, when you're a fighter, dude, I mean, it's hard enough to cut weight already. It's already hard enough to cut weight to make weight for your fight. But now he's just putting extra work on himself. I think Dana White also mentioned it too. Like, it's not the best for his career, not the best thing for him to do. But he's a grown man. He can do what he wants. So
he loves to eat, and as long as he's winning, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, well, hey, eventually that catches up to you, man. When your body fluctuates up and down like that, it can mess with your reflexes, your conditioning, in the long term. So, well, at least right now he's doing good, but yeah, that's all I can say about him.
He's a character for sure, Ricky. UFC 278 is coming up this Saturday, August 20th. At 9 p.m. Central. This is going to take place in Salt Lake City. Pretty good fight, Ricky. Main event: Kamaru Usman defends his welterweight championship against Leon Edwards. We also have Paula Acosta versus Luke Rockhold. That's the middleweight division, and then bantamweight bout between Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo just doesn't go away.
Oh, dude. I mean, look. The thing about him is that, bro, I mean, we've seen him fight, bro, when he was like his early 20s.
Right.
And he's obviously now not the same. He's obviously not the same fighter he once was, but he still manages to stay in contention. He's number 3 in the rankings in bantamweight.
Yeah, number 3. He faces
that says a lot, man.
Yeah, absolutely. He faces number 6, Merab Davishvili. How do you say it?
Davishvili.
Davishvili. Gesundheit.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo, Ricky, is, believe it or not, he's the underdog in this fight.
All right, but I disagree.
Tell us why you think that is.
It is probably because Merab is probably, I believe, the younger fighter. I've not checked his age, but He's also, very relentless with his wrestling. He has a lot. He puts on a lot of pressure with the wrestling, and apparently, I guess some people think that he could probably take Jose Aldo down and keep him there, but Jose Aldo has really good, an underrated actually wrestling defense.
Yeah.
So, and Merab in his past fights, he has struggled to keep guys down in his last couple of fights, and I think he's going to struggle with this one too to keep Jose down. And Jose is, his striking, he doesn't use his kicks as much as he used to. He's mostly focused on the boxing, but still very quick, still a lot of hard punches. He still throws a lot of hard punches, and I think even though he might be the slight underdog, I have Jose Aldo winning this fight. I think he'll defend the takedowns from Merab, pretty easily and keep it standing, and then I think that's where he shines.
Yep.
And so I got Aldo winning this fight.
Merab 14-4 coming into this fight. Jose Aldo 31-7. So the experience is definitely on Jose Aldo's side.
And by the way, this is an important fight for both guys, especially for Aldo. I think if Aldo wins convincingly, I think if he wins by knockout, we just saw like we just said, Marlon Vera stated his case last week. If Jose Aldo states his case this week, he could probably get the title shot before even Vera gets it. And or because he's number 3.
Or you have them to fight for the number 1 contender spot.
Yeah, for the second time. They have fought. Before. Yeah. That would be the rematch, and Jose beat him. He beat Vera the last time they fought. So
rematch take the number 1 contender spot. Why not?
I'd rather see a rematch between them for the title. That's what I would see. I would rather see that for the title.
That'd be good too.
So I would rather see them fight for the title if they fight again. So Jose Aldo, if he wins convincingly and impressively, he can get the next title shot.
And I agree with you. I think Jose Aldo takes it in this fight against Merab, and I also think he's the next number 1 contender for that bantamweight championship.
And not to discount Merab, man. If he wins this fight, he moves into that number 3 spot, or 3 or 4 spot.
100%.
And he'll be in contention as well. So let's not discount him as well.
No, of course not.
So this is a very important fight for him as well. So yeah.
Good fight between these two guys, Ricky. That's only the 3rd best fight on this card. Here we have the co-main event: Paulo Costa against Luke Rockhold. Ricky, middleweight division. Rockhold isn't ranked, but Costa's ranked number 6. Why is it such an important fight?
Man, first of all, Luke Rockhold hasn't fought in like 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last time he fought, he got knocked out by Jan Blachowicz.
Yep.
So I feel like this is a bad matchup for Luke Rockhold, only because he hasn't fought in a while, and he did get knocked out probably the last 2 times that he has fought. His chin is not where it used to be anymore. I mean, this is a guy who was a former Strikeforce world champion, former UFC middleweight champion as well.
Yep.
And he's been fighting for a long time, but I almost feel like they're feeding him to Paulo Costa, because Costa is a powerhouse. We've seen what he can do, man. He moves forward. He's aggressive. He has a lot of power in his strikes, and he knocks people out, man. So I can see Paulo Costa winning this fight by knockout, and it's important because he's been on a 2-fight skid now for the past, for his last couple.
Yeah, I was saying he lost his last fight.
His last 2 fights, yeah.
Yeah, 13-2. One of them was against the champion Israel Adesanya. So it's like, you kind of give him that. Like, okay, he lost against the champ, the undisputed champ at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing. And then in his last fight, he missed weight, against Marvin Vettori. And, there was a lot of concern coming into this fight. Is he going to pull that same stunt again? Is he going to come overweight? So far, we haven't heard anything. It looks like he's good to go. He's probably going to make weight. So yeah, he needs this win to get back into contention. Luke Rockhold, if he were to beat him, he'll be considered right into that spot as well.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it that way, man. I think Costa's going to go in there. He's probably going to knock out Rockhold in the first round, and that's my prediction.
Wow, in the first round. Look, I wouldn't put it back. I wouldn't put it past Rockhold, as you mentioned, former champion.
Yeah, but
he's underdog, and it's a huge underdog. So maybe I might sprinkle some money into that. He's coming back. I get it. He hasn't fought in 3 years, but there's a reason he's coming back. Maybe he got some. Maybe he shows something. You know what I mean? Costa's gonna have to watch some tape, some film from 3 years back, and Rockhold could be a whole different man.
Man, we'll see. I mean, because it's like I said, he's in his late 30s. It's like a Dominic Cruz type of thing,
Yeah.
been there, veteran. He's been through a lot of wars. But and he's been knocked out in his last couple of fights, man. And he's going in there against another knockout artist. Doesn't look good for him, man. But if you want to put that money on Luke Rockhold, go ahead, bro.
You never know, right? I mean, a win can do wonders for both.
Anything can happen in the sport. Anything can happen in the sport, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. The puncher's chance is real, and like I said, a win will do wonders for both guys. Both guys are coming in looking for a win for sure. But that's the co-main event, Ricky. Let's move on to the main event, the undisputed, defending welterweight champion Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards. Usman's the heavy favorite. I mean, there's no surprise there. Let's be honest. Usman 20-1, 20-1. But Leon Edwards is no scrub too. 19-3 coming in, Ricky. Both winning their last fights. I think this fight's gonna be a lot closer than people think.
Than at least the first round. I mean, the first fight.
Yep.
At least the first fight. First fight.
I think it's gonna be a lot closer than people think.
It could be. It could be. It depends on what Leon Edwards has done since losing to Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
What was it, like 6 years ago since their last fight? Because in that first fight, it's if you go back and watch it, it's not the most exciting fight because Kamaru Usman used his wrestling. He held he clinched with Leon Edwards he held him against the cage, held him down, took him down, and with the ground and pound. So it wasn't the most exciting thing to watch. But Leon Edwards, it all depends on what Leon Edwards has done to prepare for, because he's been there with Usman. He knows what to expect. Did he work on his wrestling? Did he work on his takedown defense? Because if he has, I believe the big advantage that Edwards would have is in the stand-up.
Yeah.
Very accomplished kickboxer himself. Very good in the stand-up.
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman has showed improvement in the stand-up. But, it's not on the level that you would say Leon Edwards is on. So if he worked on that, he definitely has a chance to win this fight. But I still have Usman winning. I think he's still going to go back to his wrestling. I don't think he's going to want to stand up with Edwards. And then he's going to probably do the same thing he did in the first fight.
I think he's going to stand up with Edwards a little bit, but I can also see him going to his wrestling when needed. I can see him standing up, hitting some shots. Kamaru Usman is the champion for a reason. He's going to have a game plan. He's going to want to fight head toe to toe with Edwards. But then I could also see him going to the clinch, taking him down, and trying to submit him. I mean, that Usman.
You could try, yeah. He could. He probably will. He probably will start up with the stand up and try to stay there and try to test his stand up with Edwards. But once he senses danger, that's when he can go back to the wrestling. And that's where he has the advantage. So we'll see what Leon has learned since then. But I still have Usman. I have him winning by decision, 5 rounds.
I agree 100% with you. Oh, by decision.
I have it by decision. Yes.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. And that's given a lot of respect and credit to someone like Leon Edwards. He's tough to finish. And I could definitely see Kamaru Usman taking it for sure. But damn, if Kamaru Usman takes it again, Ricky, then who beats this guy? Because it just seems like it's been steamrolling this division. Who's next?
Yeah. Who would be next after? We know who's next. We know who's next. I mean, first of all, the man we're talking about, he has a fight coming up with Nate Diaz.
Yes, he does.
He has, yeah. So, I love Nate Diaz, man. I've always been a big fan of his, but they're feeding Nate Diaz to Khamzat. It seems, at least. So
Khamzat Chimaev.
So if we can assume that Khamzat Chimaev gets past Nate Diaz, he's definitely getting the next title shot against Kamaru Usman or Leon Edwards. Let's not count him out just yet.
Yeah, true.
So he's definitely getting the next title shot. But since you mentioned if Kamaru Usman, assuming he wins, I think I think Chimaev is the biggest threat to Kamaru Usman for his title and for his record. We've
seen what Chimaev can do with adversity when his last fight, and I feel like that wasn't a fight that was negatively towards Chimaev. I think that was positive. You wanted to see him with a quality opponent in Gilbert Burns and see what he can do with his back against the wall. And not only did he prevail, he delivered 100% in winning that fight.
An exciting fight too, man.
Exciting
fight. Yeah, he showed what he had. He had heart.
Yep.
Everybody was assuming that he was probably gonna smash Gilbert Burns,
right? Exactly, Smish.
just like he did everyone else at the all the other guys that he's faced up until then.
Yeah.
But that Gilbert Burns was number 2 at the time for a reason, and he gave Chimaev the biggest test of his career, and he passed it. So
he passed it, yeah.
So there we go, man. That'll be your next contender, bro. After this fight,
I'm excited for that one, but that determining what happens here between Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards, we can't, as you mentioned, we cannot count out Leon Edwards,
right?
But we just
regardless of the result, of who wins, Chimaev is the next guy, man. He's coming. He's coming.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you and I both have Kamaru Usman winning this fight, and that's just a credit and a testament to what he has been in this division. He is there's so many dominant champions in the UFC today, right? Yeah. Where they're just far above everyone else in the sport. And Kamaru Usman is just one of those guys that's special. You don't want, we can't take it for granted what he's been able to do in this division. It's GSP like, you know what I mean?
It is, yeah. It definitely is, and he's definitely should be considered among the guys like GSP, like Anderson Silva, like John Jones.
Yep.
Those guys. He's definitely in the conversation for pound for pound greatest of all time. Yeah, that's where he's heading now. I mean, you can say it now, but by the time it's all said and done, he will be considered one of those guys.
Absolutely. I mean, that fight against Jorge Masvidal when he knocked him out is forever going to be one of the greatest highlights in just UFC history. I mean, that knockout was
in his career and UFC history, yeah.
So yeah, no,
it was not something I was expecting at the time. I remember.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But that's UFC 278, guys. Again, this Saturday, August 20th, 9 p.m., Salt Lake City. Should be a good fight, man. Should be a very good fight. We'll definitely review that fight next Wednesday here on Sports Drip Live as we're talking UFC. Make sure you guys follow us on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Facebook. That's where we're going. That's where we're broadcasting live right now at the moment.
Right.
So make sure to follow us, guys, on all those platforms because you'll be able to see all our current, future, present episodes. You'll also be able to watch the JCA Sports Podcast with myself, Eric, and John. We had the fantasy football draft this past Sunday, so we'll be back next Monday. And then, of course, Eric has his soccer show, the EAFP Podcast, where you can catch every Wednesday as well. My brother and I will be back here next Wednesday. All right. Ricky, let's go into some boxing. We haven't talked boxing in a while, man. But we have a pretty good fight coming up as Anthony Joshua faces Alexander Usyk for the second time. This time, Joshua wants his revenge, and he wants his belt back because this is for the world heavyweight title in the AMB, IBF, and OMB. I mean, this is taking place, Ricky, in Saudi Arabia this Saturday, just like UFC 278. So we have, plenty to watch this Saturday. If you guys are bored, there's plenty to watch in the world of combat sports.
Yes.
And here we go, man. Usyk Joshua 2, Ricky. Are you excited for this fight? And if so, who wins?
Yeah, man. I'm always excited for the heavyweights, at least for the top heavyweights of today. And this one I'm excited too, man, because I'm willing to see what Anthony Joshua is, just like how Leon Edwards, with Kamaru Usman. Did he learn from the first fight? Is he gonna come in different? Same here with Anthony Joshua. And two British fighters, by the way, too. So all the British fight fans got something to look forward to this weekend, and hopefully their guys do it this weekend, man. But Joshua, in the first fight, man, he was not aggressive. He wasn't taking the initiative, and he was getting outboxed, outclassed by Usyk. It was basically a clinic, man, and he beat him, took the belts, and it just left questions for Joshua. Like, man, what am I gonna do for the rest of my career now? Like, where do I go from here, and how do I get better from here? Because Joshua, he's accomplished a lot. He's one of the bigger names in the heavyweight division. Alongside Tyson Fury, especially in England, and he's coming into this fight, man. I seen his training, man. He's looking absolutely ripped. He looks like he has some motivation. He has a new boxing coach.
Yeah,
I believe it's Robert Garcia. I think who his was next. I think that's who it is. Robert Garcia is a boxing coach. And so we'll see what he does in this fight, man. Can he go in there? Can he use his size? Can he use his power? Can he take the initiative against Usyk is a bit smaller and he's quicker, faster. and probably a much better boxer too. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for this fight. But as far as who wins, I don't know. I don't know if I see it any different than the first fight, man. I think I might have Usyk winning.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a shocking win the first time around. A lot of people had Anthony Joshua winning that fight. For those who don't remember, he lost to Usyk. It was in Tottenham Stadium in September of last year. I mean, Usyk was he was the highly technical boxer, Ricky. He was very quick, as you mentioned, very agile on his feet, and he was coming off an impressive run in the light heavyweight division.
In the cruiserweight, the cruiserweight division. Yep.
Cruiserweight, yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, Usyk for real, and he showed it. As far as Joshua goes, he's gonna have to make adjustments for this fight, especially from the last one. He's gonna have to make some adjustments because this is a new challenge for him. Yes, it's the same guy, but it's a new challenge. Now you're going after him and his belts. Yep. You know what I mean? And we'll see what he learned from the last fight. Hopefully, it's enough to get him his title back.
If I want to say about like the keys to victory for at least Anthony Joshua, even though I have Alexander Usyk winning this fight, if Anthony Joshua has a chance to win, he should use his size. Yeah. He should try to bully Usyk a little bit and try to slow him down, and use his power because he is the bigger guy. He is the more powerful puncher. So that's all he has to do is put on the pressure, try to be first because that's not what he was doing in this first fight. Yeah, he was staying at a distance. Being the bigger guy, that's not what you want to do. You want to try to smother this guy. You want to try to put the pressure, try to get into the clinching, try to land some punches before the referee separates you. Use your power, try to wear down the smaller, faster guy. So we'll see if he makes the adjustments. If he does that, he has a chance of winning this fight. But if he decides to keep the distance, like how he did in the first fight, he's gonna get picked apart all night.
Can you see the winner of this fight, Ricky, maybe facing off against the Gypsy King?
Well, first of all, he just retired officially again.
Again.
And we forgot to mention too, this fight is also for the Ring Heavyweight Championship that Tyson Fury held that he vacated. So that's also up for grabs. Now, if Anthony Joshua win this fight, that could be enough. And, that and the interest of him fighting Anthony Joshua could be enough to bring him back out of retirement again. But only time will tell. We'll see what happens, man. Anthony Joshua absolutely needs to win this fight.
What about Usyk? You don't think he would want to come out and fight Usyk again?
I don't know, man. I think, well, listen, Fury's looking for the money, man. He's looking for a big payday.
Yeah.
He's looking for the big payday. That's the only thing that would probably get him out of retirement. Against Usyk, I'm sorry to say it's not the biggest fight that you can promote. Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. It is a big fight, but probably might not be enough for him to want to come out of retirement. But against a guy like Anthony Joshua, an all British main event heavyweight fight, that might be enough. And people are going to want to pay him the money for him to come out to see this fight. So it all depends. We'll see what happens. But for Tyson Fury to come out of retirement, Anthony Joshua needs to win this fight to get a big, huge payday against him.
I have Joshua winning. Ricky, you agree?
I got Usyk winning.
Usyk.
I got Usyk winning.
I'm going Joshua. I think Joshua. Right. I think he can redeem himself here.
All right.
I want to see him again.
All right, man. Let's sit back and watch and enjoy and see what happens.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're going to do. Like I said, Saturday night is a great night for combat sports. Again, UFC 278, Joshua and Usyk 2. Great fight great night for combat sports, and we will review all that next Wednesday here at Sports Drip Live. Let's get into the wrestling world, Ricky, which has been on fire this last couple weeks, and it, at least on one side of the coin, it's been all because of Triple H, and on the other side of the coin, you get AEW is getting their stars relatively healthy. And in due time, and I say this because I think this is a crucial time for AEW. Right now, all eyes are on WWE. With Vince McMahon forced to retire, and Triple H taking the helm, head of creative with Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan. We know Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan has some say in it, But we know who's pulling the weight. We know who's pulling the strings here. These are Triple H's moves. Look at the people that have been able to come back.
As head of creator, yes.
Yeah, you see Karrion Kross coming back. You've seen Hit Row come back, Ricky. Bailey, Dakota Kai.
Dexter Lumis, too, and NXT.
Lumis, yes. Like these are Triple H's guys. It's only a matter of time when you see someone like Johnny Gargano come back. It's only a matter of time.
And then there's the rumor about Bray Wyatt coming back, too.
Yes. Again, and that's why all eyes are on WWE right now, right? Everything that we've always complained about when it came to WWE and what Vince McMahon is unable to do to put out a good product, when he's everything that he's unable to do to be able to build stars, Triple H knows how to do that. Because in NXT, he kind of basically made a name. I mean, not saying that he wasn't. I'm talking about made a name in that position. And then, in my eyes, he made a name in that position in NXT because after you would send up guys to WWE, you would have another star in the wing. You know what I mean? It was always like that. Every time, like for example, I bring him up. If you guys had $1 for every time I bring up Bobby Roode, right? But Bobby Roode on Triple H was amazing. He was a great heel champion in NXT. After he loses to Drew McIntyre is just did he lose him? Yeah, he lost to Drew McIntyre.
Right? And then he got called up. Yeah,
he got called up. Drew McIntyre gets the belt. What happens? Drew McIntyre becomes a star. Then what happens? Drew McIntyre loses to Andrade Cien Almas. He gets McIntyre gets called up. Almas is the star. Then Almas gets called up. Aleister Black is the new champ and the face of NXT, right? Adam Cole baby comes in, right? And then you have Johnny Gargano, and then Tommaso Ciampa comes back, and you start to build stars that way, and that's why those guys are who they are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And it's funny you mentioned that because the only guy out of all the people that you mentioned that actually made it, like I guess like did really well on the main roster was Drew McIntyre. Everyone else, Vince McMahon buried, ruined them.
Yep.
And most of them ended up leaving.
Absolutely, 100%. Adam Cole left. Johnny Gargano left. Hopefully he comes back. Bobby Roode, believe it or not,
Aleister Black left.
Yeah, Aleister Black left, and Andrade Almas left.
Yes.
Bobby Roode is the only one left out of the people, him and McIntyre, but other ones who didn't pan out, he's the only one left, but that's only because of a contract he signed. It was not because of his own doing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if he had the choice, he would leave too.
Yeah. But he didn't find any success on the main roster, at least not what Triple H was doing. It was only Drew McIntyre who found success because he had the look.
Yeah,
he had the look of the champion. He had the charisma. So, and that was all that Vince needed. You know, that was a guy that Vince. You know, those are the type of guys that Vince liked.
Exactly.
And he pushed them to the moon. But yeah.
So. Yeah, Karrion Kross was another one of those guys who was a champion in NXT under Triple H. Was very over. Goes up to the main roster. They ditch his girlfriend. They give him a whole new outfit. They change his name, and it's like, who the hell? Then you don't see him. Then you don't see him anymore. He gets released. So I mean, again, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, all eyes are on WWE for good reason because you're starting to see these guys come back. You're starting to see what Triple H is able to do, and he brings in those guys, Ricky, because you need new stars. Roman Reigns is now a part-timer. Brock Lesnar is a part-timer. Always, right? You can't just go on with those two guys. Drew McIntyre is there. Yes, Seth Rollins is there. So is Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. But, you know, those guys have always been there. You know what I mean? You need to create new stars. Those guys are going to end up leaving eventually. They're going to end up retiring. They're only getting older here. You got to start creating new stars. You got to start doing that now. Vince did that with Austin Theory. Or like you see Austin Theory move up a little bit, but you still have guys like Finn Balor. You guys, Karrion Kross is now back. You have guys that can take those mantle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, and it's funny how Karrion Kross has been able to stay a free agent up until this point, ever since he got released. Like
it's like he knew.
You would have thought you would have thought that he would have signed with the AEW, just like how Keith Lee did.
Right.
And Malachi Black and Andrade, all those other guys have been there, but yeah, he waited. I don't know. It's almost like Triple H told him, like, hey man, hold on, I'll get you back somehow. Don't worry, don't sign nowhere.
What are you trying to say, Ricky? Are you trying to go down a rabbit hole right now?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It feels that way. It feels that way.
Hey, Johnny Gargano too. You know, Johnny Gargano would be a star in AEW. A star.
Yeah, that especially all his friends are there, and the style that AEW does fits. You know, he fits right in.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But he's also Triple H guy. So
yes,
he's also Triple H guy. So you know when he's ready to come back, man, I see him going back to WWE 100%.
Hold on, I want to go back
before.
I want to go back to that conspiracy. You think Triple H notified? You think Triple H, was behind the reports of Vince McMahon? Come on, he would have to know. If there's anybody in that business who knew what Vince McMahon was up to, paying off women, it had to be Triple H.
Dude, right? Let's go back a little bit. Remember when Stephanie McMahon announced that she's stepping away or something like that? She was stepping away, right? And that she was going to take a leave of absence. She was stepping away. This is when Vince was still this is before anything came out.
Right.
And then when the press release came out of Stephanie taking a leave of absence, it's almost like WWE was burying her on the way out, saying that she wasn't good at her job, she sucked, and this and that. You know, basically, I mean, like why are they burying Stephanie here? Why are they saying that she's not good at her job at being a part of the board or whatever it was? And then not too long after that, all of this started happening. Now, all this started coming out about Vince McMahon, you know, paying off girls to do some things for him, former employees, wrestlers.
Quid pro quo.
You know,
say it in the business.
No one told no one told Vince McMahon about escorts. Instead, he just wants to fuck his employees.
Oh, sure. I'm sure he knew. I'm sure he knew and had his fair share.
Oh my goodness, man. Well, I mean, come on, man. Well, if he would have went that route, he would have still been in power today. Think about that. But instead, you know,
here's the thing. I think Vince does that still, and still has a hankering for women that work for him. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like with guys like Vince McMahon, you want, you know, it entices you more when there's a girl you can't have. You know what I mean? And Vince just seems like that creepy type. When he sees a woman that he's attracted to, he knows he can't have, he's gonna go all out for it. I mean, hey, money talks, right? I'm not judging, but I mean, there it is.
There you go. Yep. So, yeah, man, that's somebody leaked this info. Look, regardless of who it was, somebody leaked this information. Somebody leaked it. Somebody. And then I don't know. And then you look back at all of the things that Vince McMahon did with all the Triple H guys coming up from NXT. I mean, you got to think that bothered Triple H a lot. Like all the work that he put in to build up these guys, like Bobby Roode, like Andrade Cien Almas, Karrion Kross, all these guys.
Yeah.
And they go up, and then Vince just says, you know, fuck whatever Triple H did. You know, these guys are mine now, and I'm gonna do whatever I want with them, and he ruins them. So
yeah,
you know, you gotta think that bothered Triple H a lot. So I'm not saying he did it, but or if he was one of the, I don't know, man. But somebody leaked it for sure.
Yeah,
we might never know either.
No, we might never know. But but it's his. WWE is his now, and I'm a fan of what he's doing so far. Let's see how you sustain it. You know, if you are bringing back certain guys, let's see how you can do it. Because then again, like, don't be another AEW where you're just bring it back, and then you don't feature certain guys, or you stop featuring other guys. You know what I mean? You got to make it work.
Well, he's doing a good job so far. He's putting Karrion Kross in the heavyweight title picture.
Yeah.
He had Tommaso Ciampa face against Bobby Lashley for the U.S. Title.
Yeah, so he's not in Miz's shadow anymore. You finally see him facing great competition.
Yes. And then they just had Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles for the U.S. title. Guys that never had a match before, at least in WWE.
That's saying something. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not, if you're Vince? I mean, no, forget it. We know it's Vince, right? But like, how do these guys not face before?
Yeah. It's because you know, like Vince McMahon was basically doing reruns every week.
I swear.
The same matches. Every episode of Raw and SmackDown every week was like a rerun of the week before. The same matches over and over.
How can we do the same thing but different, basically?
And it was all the same shit.
It was all the same regardless. Roll up here, you know what I mean? Maybe disqualification there.
Or maybe that was a sign of his age, you know, like like how when you're old age you forget that you even what you did last week. Like, oh, let's do this tonight.
Like Vince, we did last week. Oh,
no, we didn't. No, of course not. This
This
is the first time ever.
This is good shit. You know,
that might have been it right there. A sign of his age. This dude is almost 80 years old.
80 years old, facts. And on the AEW side of it, Ricky, you and I were talking about it when this first came out. When it was announced Triple H would be stepping into power, you and I both came out saying this could be a problem for AEW, right? Because now you have, AEW, what they thrived on was the fact that WWE wasn't it
wasn't must see.
No, and it's not that not that it wasn't must see. It wasn't friendly to the talent. You know what I mean? They weren't in charge of their creative. Where they weren't. They had scripted promos. AEW was the complete opposite of that. Talent will go there because they had more freedom. Because they had say so in their characters and how things will go about with their characters. You know what I mean?
Right.
With Triple H, that changes. Now WWE. Well, I don't think it's going to be known for that anymore. They'll probably still have some scripted promos. This is still, a publicly traded company. So, they'll it won't be as, it won't be out there. It won't be out there, but it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot more, convenient for the talent.
The booking will be a lot better too. And he'll listen to the talent as well.
Yeah. Right. So I guess my point is, right. So you and I both came out saying that this could be an issue for AEW.
Right.
Tony Khan came out afterwards saying, it's not an issue at all, because the stars that he has are under contract. But there has been reports that WWE has been trying to recruit some AEW stars. Now, in these same reports, there's been, there's the same reports saying that the AEW guys aren't interested. But you truly believe that?
Look, man. Let's talk about guys that are in AEW that were once in WWE, like Swerve Strickland.
Almost all of them, right? Like
yeah. Well, let's look at Swerve and let's look at Keith Lee. They're actually in pretty good spots. They're doing pretty good.
Yeah, as a tag team,
As a tag team, yeah. So far, their AEW careers are going well. Adam Cole is almost always featured all the time.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, Adam Cole's featured pretty much all the time. And who else can you think of that's
Brian Danielson? Brian Danielson's also featured.
Yeah, also featured. And yeah, and then to mention those two guys, they love that blood, the guts, the hardcore style. That's what they went to AEW for. And even with Triple H in power now, I don't think that would be allowed as much. I don't think that would be.
That's what I meant when it's still a publicly traded company, so they were not going to be as out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I can see those guys being pretty happy where they're at, and maybe down the line, once their contract is up, you never know, but I can still see a lot of the guys that had left and that are happy in AEW as long as they're being featured, booked well, allowed to do outside projects as well, other than AEW. I don't think it'll be too much of an issue as far as losing those guys, but as far as like anybody coming up. Like wrestlers coming up, deciding whether they want to go to WWE or AEW, that's where it could be, some pretty good competition between both companies. Because before WWE, everyone would look at WWE like, I don't want that old man in charge of my career and telling me what to do. Well, that old man ain't there anymore.
Right.
You got a guy who's also a wrestler himself, and he knows what it's like to be in the ring. He knows the struggles and all that, the booking and creating and stuff, creative aspects of wrestling. So. You never know, man. But yeah, so it's the WWE's looking more talent friendly now for sure.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Yeah,
100%. AEW does get their stars back, Ricky. They got their stars back, and I think in a much needed time, with everything positively going for WWE. If you're AEW, you were still missing some stars. Brian Danielson is now back. He's wrestling. CM Punk came back, and that match between him and Jon Moxley is going to happen up for the Undisputed Championship very soon. And we just had Kenny Omega return tonight, teaming up with the Young Bucks for that trios tournament, right?
Right.
And that's the one thing I would give AEW credit for. They have a lot of guys in their roster, but they are featuring them. Even they let's be honest, they started this trios championship for that reason. That's why you see so many factions, because you gotta, they want to at least get these guys on TV. But I think they're doing a pretty good job, for sure.
Yeah, and great timing to get all your stars back, all your big guns back, because we're heading into the fall, and as you know very well, NFL season's coming up.
Yep.
And that does deliver a blow to the wrestling ratings for both companies.
Yep.
So they want to try to bust out the big guns and try to keep some fans, some of the ratings back up.
Yeah.
During this period, and especially now with all the attention being on WWE right now because of everything that's went on and Triple H being in power, Tony Khan needed these guys back.
Absolutely.
And he got them back. He got them back almost all at the same time too, because they were all gone for various injuries, and they're all back now. So now let's see where this goes.
AEW is not really in a bad spot because you do have a lot of these guys under contract for 2 to 3 years more, some 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of matches you have yet to see. We haven't seen a match with Kenny Omega and CM Punk yet. We haven't seen a match between CM Punk and Bryan Danielson yet. We haven't seen a match between CM Punk and Hangman Adam Page yet. There's so many matches. Jon Moxley, he made the rounds, right? But like, you still want it, like him and CM Punk coming up. It's going to be a great match.
That's a good match. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so much to do. There's just so much to have. I mean, CM Punk, Adam Cole, right?
Yeah. Let's not forget MJF.
And I was just gonna go, MJF, and you still have MJF, and there's still so many matches you can do. AEW is still in a good spot. They're still in a great spot. So let's not.
I don't believe it's the end of the company. Like how Eric said that one time, they're like, "Oh, the AEW's like, no." Right. AEW, they're not in trouble.
We're not burying them yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They still got, the thing, they still got all these guys under contract, and they still have a good product that people still tune in to watch.
Yes.
Okay. Now, where I think it's gonna start to change is when it starts coming to the talent. Because now when people always left WWE to go to AEW.
Yeah.
So far, the only guy that did that was Cody that left AEW to go to WWE.
Yep.
So far, that was the only guy. Now, because of the changes that are going on in WWE, we could probably end up seeing some AEW guys going to WWE.
100%.
So that's where the AEW might want to start.
I think, Ricky, you're having technical issues, man. You're breaking up.
Talent and booking them.
Oh, you're back.
We back.
You're back. I hear you now.
Cool. Where was I? I believe that's where the competition will probably lie. Somewhere down the line as far as talent exchanges.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good point because it was always like, Cody went, but Cody always had that hit at WWE. Being the son of the great Dustin Rhodes, being the brother of Goldust, him being in WWE already. You know what I mean? So like, he kind of already had a leg in. That was going to help him become successful. You know what I mean?
And he fits right in with that WWE style. I don't think he ever truly fit in AEW.
Yeah,
I don't think he ever did.
Right. His character is more WWE friendly than it was before with Stardust.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's almost like that's what he was doing, going for the whole time.
Right.
Building up his kid, trying to impress Vince McMahon. Like, hey, look at that. Yeah. I made myself a big star outside of your company, and I'm ready to come back.
Yeah.
It's like that was the plan all along, and then look at over here. I helped create another company. I became a star in this company. I'm ready to come back.
And it worked out. I mean, he got injured, right? So we're not going to see him for months. But it did work out because he was a big draw in these last couple pay-per-views. With that being said, I was always still skeptical with the AEW guys going to WWE because Cody was different from someone like Darby Allin or someone like
I do not see Darby Allin going to WWE.
Well, no, I'm using an example like an AEW grown guy that finds success in AEW going to WWE. Someone like Darby Allin, like MJF.
Right.
I was always skeptical with those guys because they're much smaller. There's not really although we know how talented both guys are and great both guys are. I think MJF is a huge star.
Yeah.
Someone like Vince McMahon wouldn't have seen it, but Vince McMahon's gone.
Yeah.
Triple H knows how to use guys like those. He would make Darby Allin a star in WWE. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
That's why it's different. Now I feel like any AEW guy willing to go to WWE, it's a lot more enticing because they know, hey, I'm not just gonna be thrown, into the undercards and with a whole new name and outfit. No, like they're gonna be heard, they're gonna be valued with someone like Triple H.
Yeah, that could be true. Even though I still don't see Darby Allin going, I think his style is too extreme for WWE. I think AEW is his his spot. Yeah, that's his company. MJF, MJF, I could see it. I could see it too. But that's still WWE, and they still might. I think he'll still be watered down a little bit just because it's WWE. So
we won't have it anymore.
I don't think he'll be able to get away with some of the stuff he would say still. So. I wouldn't want him to go to WWE. I like him in AEW. I think he's the homegrown guy there in AEW, man. He's the biggest star that they're gonna have.
Yeah, for sure. If you had to guess, Ricky, if there was anybody from AEW you think would be the next person to jump ship and go to WWE, who would it be?
What was it? Someone that's from WWE or
it doesn't matter. It could be anybody on that roster you think. If given the opportunity, who do you think will go over there and why?
Man, I think it would probably Wardlow.
Oh, really?
Probably Wardlow.
Dude, he would kill over there. Even if Vince was there, he would still kill. Like that. That's just how over he is right now in AEW, and I think he would definitely be over in WWE.
I think so. I mean, I don't want him to leave. I wouldn't want him to leave AEW, but. Yeah, I could see him going over there for sure.
That'd be great.
Then again, who cares? We in the end we win, right? We're the fans.
We watch.
Doesn't matter what company these guys are in. We're still going to see them, and we'll see them do their thing. So yeah.
I mean, there's times where I wish AJ Styles in AEW because I would love to see him have matches with guys like Kenny Omega right now, and but I get it.
I don't think he'll do it. I think he's going to retire in WWE.
Yeah.
Styles. Yeah.
He said he would. I think this last contract he signed was the last one, from what I heard. So, still be pretty cool.
That would have been nice for sure.
Yeah.
I know someone who's never going back, and that's CM Punk. If you're gonna ask him.
Yeah, because it wasn't just Vince McMahon he had issues with. He had issues with both Stephanie and Triple H. And now that they're both running the show, he's if AEW's not worried about him, he's staying right there.
He's staying right there. Even Jon Moxley, I don't think he'll go back. I don't think even with Triple H in charge, I don't think Jon Moxley will go back.
I think he would.
You think so?
I think one day, like years down the road.
Maybe that. But it's like I said, he's able to get away with a lot in AEW. He can bleed in every match that he has.
Oh, yes.
And he loves that shit.
Yes, he can.
He's even the GCW world heavyweight champion. Yeah. So yeah, he's happy for sure. I don't think he's definitely happy.
Yeah, I mean AEW is made for guys like him, Eddie Kingston. You mentioned Darby Allin. Those guys thrive off those type of companies.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
for sure. You guys listen to Sports Drip live alongside my brother Rick Contreras. My name is Jose Contreras. What a show! It went by fast. It always goes by fast with us here. That's how you know we're having fun.
That's right.
Yeah, we talked UFC Fight Night. We previewed UFC 278. We previewed Joshua and Usyk 2, and we got a lot of wrestling to talk about. Anything you want to talk about, Ricky? Anything else you want to talk about before we close the books on this show?
No, that we pretty much talked about everything we wanted to talk about this week, man. It's pretty exciting stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Some great fights coming up this weekend, and then with AEW and WWE too, man. Some great stuff to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, thought we'd never see the day Vince McMahon would actually voluntarily. Well, yeah, we'll have to be forced to be stepped down, but
it wasn't voluntary. It wasn't voluntary. It was voluntary. It was definitely forced. It was definitely forced.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so that's about it, man. We had a lot of fun with the show.
Yeah, 100%. Good fun here, guys. We will be back next Wednesday as we review UFC 278, Joshua versus Usyk as well, and we'll talk. Definitely, we'll have more. I'm sure we'll have more to talk about with AEW and WWE. So for my brother Enrique Contreras, I'm Jose Contreras, guys. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week, and we'll see you guys then. Ricky, have a good week, man.
You too, brother.